Coming up tonight on YCU, two men have been charged with stealing 10 grand worth of tools from Crown Point Country Club in Springfield. We have a snow country ski report to help you decide where to hit up the slopes this weekend. And Representative from Sullivan County, Linda Tanner, discusses the minimum wage bills in the State House. With more news, sports, and weather, stay tuned. It's time for YCU, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region and central Vermont. News, sports, weather, public affairs, and all that's happening in our area. The news on YCU, your local view.
Welcome, I'm David Carmichael. A former employee of the Crown Point Country Club in Springfield, Vermont, and a friend have both been charged with carrying out a crime spree on Christmas Eve at the golf course. 23-year-olds Alfred Manny Gonzalez of Wethersfield and Anthony Thompson of Springfield entered innocent pleas this week to 2 counts of burglary, an additional felony count of grand larceny, and a misdemeanor charge of unlawful mischief. Both men were released from the criminal court in White River Junction on pretrial conditions, including curfews at their respective residences, along with court orders to stay off Crown Point Country Club's land. During the Christmas break, the thieves took $10,000 worth of tools and equipment and did damage to 3 greens on the golf course by driving on them. It wasn't discovered until a maintenance worker came back to work the morning of the 28th. A transient man will appear in Windsor, Vermont County Criminal Court on April 16th to answer to charges of possession of marijuana. Springfield police say that they answered a call regarding suspicious activity and found 3 men allegedly smoking marijuana behind the Springfield Library last Saturday. Ethan Wiley and Justin Fuller, both of Springfield, produced a small amount of marijuana when questioned. However, Frank Haynig produced a plastic bag allegedly containing 26 grams of marijuana, a container of seeds, several baggies, and a digital scale. 1 year after Governor John Lynch vetoed medical marijuana in New Hampshire, the idea is seeing new life in the State House. Currently, 18 states and Washington, D.C. have some sort of medical marijuana law on the books. New Hampshire, however, is the only New England state not to have one. Supporters of medical marijuana say they think this is the best chance for it to become legal because New Hampshire's Governor Maggie Hassan said she supports it if it's properly regulated. A bill legalizing medical marijuana has been proposed for the 4th time in 6 years. It would allow the use of the drug for those with chronically painful or terminal illnesses. Thursday's hearing in Concord drew a large crowd, with the majority in support of passing medical marijuana. The committee that heard the testimony could make a recommendation next week. On Thursday, the New Hampshire Public Works and Highway Committee voted to increase the state's gasoline tax by 83%. This would increase the state's tax on gas from 18 cents per gallon to 33 cents per gallon, a 15 cents tax hike. State lawmakers say the revenue would be used to repair and maintain 1,600 miles of state roadways and bridges. Though the committee gave the thumbs up on the bill, state lawmakers are torn. Supporters say the millions of dollars in revenue would only be used for roads and bridges and not go towards anything else. Opponents say a tax increase will cripple the economy. The New Hampshire State House Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee is considering a bill to allow teachers to bring guns to school. The committee held a public hearing yesterday in Concord on the proposal to allow voters to decide if they want teachers and other school employees to go to class armed. The bill does not automatically allow teachers to bring guns to school. Under the proposal, school districts would be free to put the question of allowing armed teachers and other school employees up for vote. If the measure is approved at the ballot box, the local school board would be free to set a policy to allow people already licensed to carry a concealed weapon to bring those weapons to school. The committee is set to take it up for consideration on the bill next week. If it's passed, it will then go to the House. The Vermont State Legislature has elected Brigadier General Stephen Cray to be the next commander of the Vermont National Guard. Cray says he's honored, but acknowledges he's taking office at a challenging time. Cray is assuming command on March 1st, the day the Department of Defense is set to implement drastic cuts on military operations. Vermont has received a $45 million federal health care grant. Governor Peter Shumlin says the announcement of the grant from the Federal Center of Medicare and Medicaid is a big boost to the state's efforts to retool its health care system. Money is expected to support ongoing efforts in the state to create unified health care networks designed to better handle the state's cost. For these stories and more, be sure to check out our website at ycunow.com for news anytime. And please, please, please like our Facebook page. We would really appreciate that. After the break, meet the president and CEO of the Lake Sunapee Bank.
The YCU News continues in a moment.